So in this problem, we're going to discuss continuity of the following functions. If they're removable, we'll discuss how it could be removed. So on the first one, we have 1 over x minus 5. I've drawn the graph of that, this spot being x equals 5. So we know that f is not defined at x equals 5, and so the limit as x approaches 5 of f of x does not exist, okay, because this one's going down, this one's going up as we approach that value. And because it's a break, that is also known as an essential discontinuity. And that happens at x equals 5. And then, since that is the only place that it is discontinuous, we can say that f of x, or just f, is continuous for all real numbers except for x equals 5. Okay, now moving to this one. So we have a piecewise function. So there's definitely a jump involved here. So f is defined for all real numbers, but there's a jump. So the limit as x approaches 0, because that's where the jump occurs, does not exist, or of f of x does not exist. And this is also an essential discontinuity, and that occurs at x equals 0. And f is considered continuous for all x real numbers except for 0. Okay? And we just have one more right here. Okay, it's another written like piecewise function. So this one, f is defined for all x, but there's a removable discontinuity at x equals 2. And if we were to take the limit as x approaches 2, of f of x, it equals 4, because as we're approaching it from the left side, as we're approaching it from the right side, they're going to meet, they're going to both approach 4 when they do that. And so the limit does exist, but f of 2 is equal to 6. It's not equal to 4. So that's how we know that it's a removable discontinuity at 2. And f is continuous for all x contained on real numbers except for 2. Okay. Now, if we define a new function, if we define g of x and say that f of x is equal to x squared, but not at 2, and then we say it's defined as 4 for x equals 2, basically what we're doing is we're moving this down and we're filling in that hole. So if we look at this graph, all of this represents the pink portion without that dot, because we're not defining it at x doesn't equal 2, and instead we're filling it in with a new yellow dot at that point, and then that makes it continuous. And so g of x, written more simply, is just x squared. Okay? If you need additional help, please come to Math Lab. Until then, calculator.